talk about Domo and why it's a great place for women to work. And I'd like to start with, we have kind of an unconventional business, and we are transforming the way that business is managed. And that really is part of the anchor of our culture, is that this unconventional, it's not working? Better? Okay. This unconventional culture that was a result of challenging the conventional wisdom in BI has created a kind of a magical environment where all of our employees use our product. And that is really key to, I think, where we are today. And if you think about how do you make diversity happen in a rapidly growing startup company, it is anchored in what we call our talent philosophy. And it is that we are really freakishly disciplined in hiring the best person for the job. And when you focus on hiring the best person for the job, diversity does happen. And as we look at finding that right person, the other part or piece of that is, are they super passionate about our product? Because we want everybody to use it. And if you're gonna come work at Domo, you've gotta have that be part of what you do, that you use Domo to do your job. And that, I think, is again, part of that secret sauce or magic. Once you have the diversity, how do you create a culture of inclusion? Because that's kind of the new term that we're hearing in the marketplace. For 30 years, we've heard about affirmative action and diversity, but really, once you have that diverse workforce, how do you create that culture of inclusion? And I think the number one thing for Domo that we've seen that's been the anchor of that is that our benefit program is in the top 1% nationally. And Mercer, who is our insurance broker, actually unsolicited provided me that data this year as we were preparing for open enrollment. And that means that our employees pay $100 a month for medical, dental, vision, life insurance, short-term, long-term disability. We feed everybody breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You get an iPad, all of the kind of great wellness, gym access, all the things that you would expect. But I think there's some other things that we've done at Domo that really create this inclusion culture focused on women in the company. And it starts with, flexible work schedules, competitive flex time that allows women to be able to pick and choose what they want to do with their flexible time. We have a women's group at Domo that we started 3 years ago. We call it Women at Domo, and we network a couple of times a year. We bring in outside people to talk. We do demos about our product. We want to make sure that our women are connected, but also very well connected with the community and with our company. We've created what we call our Family First Benefit Package, which is pretty cutting edge. And it's fertility, it's 3 months of paid maternity leave. It's the hot mama benefit that gives you $2,000 for a work wardrobe so you can look good and feel good when you come to work when you're expecting. But I think probably the most important thing is our return to work program, which is allowed us as a small, moving from a startup to an emerging company, to allow our female employees to take that 3 months off, fully paid, and then return to work in a way that we can transition them back. And we have several female employees that have been with us 3 to 5 years, that have had their first, some of them their second child, we've allowed them to work remote. We've looked to bring them back into that, reboarding into the workforce, because we're in this for the long haul. We are in it to build a company for the long term, and for sustainable growth and a foundation of what we know will build a great company. And then we've got recognition. And all of these awards are based on employee feedback. So also out in the marketplace, our female employees and our employees across the board are saying Domo is a great place to work.
Hello, Cathy.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. So I think a lot of people in this room know that your CEO, Josh, has 7 daughters, I believe. Is that correct?
6.
So in your opinion, is it 6?
6.
Oh,
yeah.
6. 6, 7, it's all the same, really.
You get
3
extra
or 4,
bonus points when you have over 5.
Right. And you're in HR, correct?
I am.
So do you feel that executives' relationships with women inform their commitment to inclusion? like Josh has great relationships with his daughters, and has that informed his, we all know Josh is an amazing supporter of women in tech. And if so, what can male executives who don't have those types of relationships do to maybe find that inclusion piece in their lives?
I really think it goes back to my second slide about being freakishly disciplined to find the right person for the job. I've seen that with Josh. I've worked for Josh for almost 13 years. I worked for him at Omniture. I was actually the first female executive that he hired. And he welcomed it. And it's been a good relationship. I've seen that, I think it's the way that he views not just only the women that we have hired on the executive team, but that relationship with his daughters and how they have grown, that he recognizes how important it is to further that. I'm the mother of 4 daughters, and I have 11 grandchildren. And all of my daughters have gone to college. 2 have careers. 2 don't. The 2 in the middle don't have a career, and between the 2 of them, they have 9 children. And I think it's about embracing that concept that for females, there has never been a better time in the history of mankind to be a woman. You can pick what you want to do, and I think as employers, we have to recognize and support our female employees, whatever those life choices are, whether it's work and have a family, whether it is return to work while you're having a family and help them create that work plus life, or allow them to step out and come back. I personally believe that I think having women stay in the workforce with a foot in, even if it's, maybe not full time while their children are young, is how we allow this inclusion to continue. Because this idea that you step out and then come back 15 years later, I think we know that doesn't work.
Cathy, so you talked about your return to work programs and supporting maternity leave and such. And I think I can speak for all of the women in this room. We're all proactive. We want to lead. And at times that can be challenging to know, hey, I'm going to leave, and how is it going to be when I come back, right? And so how do you as an employer think about that and help sort of acclimate or help us to support that opportunity?
So as we've had our female employees go out on maternity leave, we've actually had that discussion before they've left and talked about what do we want returning to work to look like, right? For a lot of women, that the first couple of months returning to work is the hardest period of time, right? So can the manager work with them on that transitionary period? I actually have a person on my team that we've had her return to work, and we talked about what does that role look like, how many days a week do I need her in the office, when are there things that maybe she might have to attend even though it's not an office day, and we talked through all of those scenarios so that when she returned to work, we had a very clear picture, and it's worked out extremely well. She's very happy, I'm very happy. So I feel like it's also a personal success where I've got someone on my own team doing that. Thank you.